Hello lovelies, I am the Fragnostic and I welcome you, Jedi or Sith, Imperial or Rebel, Service Droid or that hairy rat parrot that sits on Jabba the Hutt's shoulder, to Galactic Empire Appreciation Day, a brand new monthly series in which we'll be celebrating the many gaming adaptations of my most beloved of movie franchises and outright cultural phenomenons, Star Wars. So many to play, so much to see, so many Gungans to ruthlessly exterminate. So we're beginning our voyage into this galaxy far, far away with Super Star Wars for the Super NES, released in 1992 by LucasArts. Now, the first thing any true fan of the film notices about this title screen is that, as great as the game looks, no fucker can draw Luke Skywalker. What in the name of God has happened to Mark Hamill's face? He looks like Moe from the Three Stooges. Why, you Imperial knucklehead? Super Star Wars kicks things off the right way with a faithful recreation of A New Hope's opening text crawl set a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah! I don't care what format you want to put it in. You could put this intro on Atari, I'd still be into it. You could scroll it in front of me on a roll of toilet paper while playing the Star Wars theme on a kazoo with your arse. It's fucking Star Wars. I'm gonna read it to you, and what's more, I'm gonna do it with my eyes shut, because I know this shit better than I know my kids' birthdays. Here we go. Episode 4, A New Hope. It is a period of civil war. Rebel spaceships, striking from a hidden base, have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. During the battle, Rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star, an armoured space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, Princess Leia races home aboard her starship, custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the galaxy. I don't even need to look to know I got that right. If, instead of making you say the alphabet backwards when they catch you drunk driving, the police tried to have me recite the opening crawl to Star Wars, I'd be back to ramming school buses and drive-by vomiting on lollipop ladies before they could put their hats back on. Which I'd knocked off. With the Force! Pan down! The Imperial First Class Star Destroyer, Devastator, has caught up with Princess Leia's Corellian Corvette, the Tentive 4, and it wants to know what the fuck's up with those stolen plans. That's right, I know my Star Wars ships. This is gonna be truly insufferable series. If you're not into the franchise, let me promise you. Now, here's my first tip for surviving Super Star Wars in action. Run. Run for your fucking life. Forget Jedi honor. Forget honoring your commitments to the Alliance. Just get the fuck to the right side of the screen and stay there until you win. Because this game is merciless. The enemy respawn rate is just ludicrous. If you stop for even a second, you will get the midi-chlorians slapped out of your dick by an honest-to-God riot of desert beasts, so just abuse the slide like you're playing Bison in Street Fighter. Look, this is exactly what I'm talking about. These womp rats will leap out from behind the sand dunes forever if you stay put. It's like no matter where you stand, everywhere's a fucking nest of enraged Tatooine fauna. How anybody gets any moisture farming done in this bloody war zone is worthy of an expanded universe novel or two at least. Minox in the sky, sand scorpions on the ground, giant sandworms underneath it, and here's Luke Skywalker out for a morning stroll, balls on him like a metal donkey. Not even a Jedi yet, literally just a moisture farmer with a blaster pistol, out to piss off some wildlife. If you're struggling to remember the part from A New Hope where Luke single-handedly butchers a path through hundreds upon hundreds of ravenous sand beasts, it might be comforting for you to know that no, George Lucas hasn't managed to sneak another of his CGI-basted revisions out under your nose. Super Star Wars takes some, what's the politest way to phrase this? Oh yeah. Completely fucking insane liberties with the original movie in order to bring you the most ridiculously over-the-top experience that it can conjure up. I mean, the clue's right in the title. It's not just Star Wars, it's Super Star Wars. This ain't your daddy's Star Wars, boy. This one better. You don't want to wait until Return of the Jedi to see the Sarlacc pit monster? No fucking problem. It's the first boss of the bloody game. And it'll be goddamned if it's just gonna sit in the ground and wait for you to fall into it like the one outside Jabba's palace. This one rears up, tries to bitch slap you to death while it spits rocks at your damn head. Now some people are going to say very early on, oh, there goes your no-hit run, fraggers. But it is impossible to no-hit run this game. Impossible. It's just not set up like that. Every enemy you kill drops hearts and life stock for a reason. And that's to stop you from rage quitting 5 minutes after you put the damn cartridge in. Killed a Sarlacc with a pistol. Where's that Death Star? I'll punch the fucking thing to death.
Over here! Hey! Hey! Help! Please! Help! I am C-3PO, Human-Cyborg Relations. Something terrible has happened. My counterpart R2-D2 has been captured by Jawas. We must find him.
Why is Luke using binoculars? You're like 10 feet away from him. Get out of the way, droid. I'm looking for a desert wife. You see, here in the game, C-3PO didn't even leave the crash site. He just stood there and let the Jawas take R2. They just left him there. Nobody wants C-3PO. Not even the fucking Jawas. Alright, here's the land speeder stage. Now I'll tell you, to look at it now, it hasn't aged particularly gracefully, but at the time, this was some revolutionary shit. It made use of the Mode 7 technology exclusive to the Super NES. They marketed the shit out of Mode 7. And essentially what it was is a background layer that you could rotate and rapidly scale that allowed you to create this pseudo 3D illusion. And by God, everything on the console had a stage or a section to show it off back then. F-Zero was the first game to ever use Mode 7, and critics and audiences alike just browned their knickers over the sight and fluidity of it, but once the gimmick lost its initial clout and games like F-Zero, Super Mario Kart and Pilot Wings were corralled off as just kind of shiny Mode 7 tech demos, the Super NES started using it to drop some real impressive headfucks into its side-scrollers like Super Castlevania 4, Super Contra, Run Saber, Mega Man 7, Super Metro, and the list goes on forever. Anyway, this is simple enough to get through. Shoot all the Jawas for snatching up R2. You gotta kill 10 of the little fuckers and then make a beeline for their sandcrawler off in the distance there. C-3PO riding shotgun like what?
I do beg your pardon, Master Luke, but I was wondering if it might be prudent to crank up the bass on this bitch and get a little silly.
Oh shit! Let the Jawa see you bounce, dog! The fuck you took that robot from my motherfucking house for? Blow! Blow! Boom! High noon! Cap a motherfucker R2 in the sand dunes. Leave him dead, I'll leave him blue. Like my boy R2 beep bibbity beep boo just told me to motherfucking rape you! And my boy don't trip, so I'm pulling out my dick and up. So yeah, here we are at the Sandcrawler. In the movie, of course, Luke acquires C-3PO and R2-D2 by buying them from the Jawas when they roll up to deal with his uncle Owen. But not in Super Star Wars! I ain't paying for shit! The only thing I'm trading is burning lasers for smoking Jawa corpses. You got something I want, I'm gonna climb up inside your sandcrawler and kill every last one of you knee-high sons of bitches for it. And I think that's really what I love about this game. The alternative universe that Super Star Wars inhabits, you know? Even early on, A New Hope tastefully paints you a picture of the fragile interspecies alliances and resource-centered economy that drives the grimy working-class ethics of Tatooine. A daily grind that young Luke Skywalker tragically falls foul of when the Empire descend on his family for unwittingly having the wrong droids at the wrong time. But in Super Star Wars, Luke can give two cupfuls of piss about moisture farming. He's just out looking for some goddamn trouble, finds a robot hitchhiker in the desert that tells him, "Yo, my boy R2 been snatched up by Jawas. You down, fool?" "For real, C-3PS? Let's go make a motherfucking mess." Why has nobody made this movie? I don't give a shit about Greedo shooting first or adding some fucking dewbacks into the foreground. Pop this shit in and see if anybody notices. We've made some tweaks to the Jawa bargaining scene. If you look closely, you'll notice a 10-minute sequence where Luke scales the outside of the sandcrawler with a missile launcher after shooting a fucking Sarlacc to death in a sandpit. Also made some slight hue adjustments. My goodness. Alright, let's fill you in on a couple of gameplay basics while I'm clambering to the top here. So, there's a lot of platforming to get through in Super Star Wars, which can be incredibly frustrating to get to grips with on account of the jumping, which is very, very twitchy in this game. I mean, it's not horrible or anything, but it does take some getting used to, especially because a lot of the time you're aiming for tiny moving platforms. It's so easy to either under or overshoot your landing. And believe me, few things in Super Star Wars will boil your piss like screwing up a jump while you're climbing the sandcrawler, falling all the way back to the desert floor and having to do it all over again. Your main weapon throughout the game is going to be your blaster, which you can upgrade 4 times. We've already done it twice, going from blaster to flame to seeker. But by the end of this stage, we should also have gotten through rapid ion and plasma, at which point Luke is literally firing nuclear fucking warheads at anything on the screen. Now if you die, you lose all your gun upgrades, and that is going to make your life an absolute bloody misery in the later stages, where the enemies are a lot stronger. Like, in these first few levels, you can just stand toe to toe with whatever you're fighting, take the damage, collect the heart it drops, and move on. But as you hit the midpoint of Super Star Wars, you do have to start making some sort of effort to get the fuck out of the way when the enemies start shooting at you. Super Luke has limits, unfortunately. You are also working against the clock, although it is an incredibly generous time limit, but as you saw a little way back, you can pick up additional time bonuses to help you along. Lightsabers, or health swords, as they call them in this game.
It's your father's health sword, an elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
Health swords you can pick up. They'll extend your life bar for the current stage only. I think they called them health swords to stop you from wondering why you didn't get to actually use a lightsaber when you pick one of them up. You do get one in a little while, but it's fucking useless, I swear to God.
Not as clumsy or random as a blaster.
Have you seen the shit I'm firing out this thing, Kenobi? I am basically the Death Star. There's also the Darth Vader mask that, god damn it, doesn't actually summon Darth Vader for you to play as, but instead gives you a score multiplier bonus for a while, which I guess is kind of useful if you're fishing for extra lives or whatever. Picking shit up is kind of insanely janky in this game. Like, sometimes you just have to run over a power up to collect it, other times you have to stop and duck down to grab it, and there's really no rhyme or reason to when either of those conditions apply. You just won't know until you try to run past something to grab it and miss it spectacularly, but to be fair, there's not a great deal that you're compelled to pick up. There's shields later on in the game too, invincibility basically, that will give you a few moments of sweet relief from being shot to death in Mos Eisley. Oh, fuck these laser grids. There is no fucking science to getting past this bullshit, I swear to God. You just gotta keep sliding into the pissing thing and hoping for the best. Here we go. Fuck! Look, there's nothing to shoot. You can't destroy them. Get through the fucking... How would any Jawa be able to safely pass through this? What, does one stand on the pressure switch and let the other one through? Look, the bloody thing plays tennis with you between a laser grid and a flame trap there, goddammit. What's a joke? But I guess, you know, compared to Mos Eisley at least, environmentally it's somewhat faithful to the movie. I mean, this sandcrawler, okay, maybe it's laid out a little bit more like a Bond villain's lair than it was in A New Hope, but at least the movie established that there was an extensive factory inside it. Once you get to Mos Eisley in this game, there's fucking spikes all over the damn floor. You can't walk 3 meters down the street without having to climb onto a roof through fear of losing a foot to the bloody things. These goddamn Jawas. They must be easily the most prolific enemy in the entire game. Squeaky little bastards are everywhere. Jawas are basically the backbone of the Empire's forces here. They would just endlessly harass you at every turn. They run Tatooine through sheer numbers alone. Never mind the damn Hutts. At least they stick to their palaces. The Jawas are maniacs. They're the Al-Qaeda of the Star Wars universe. They don't want you blonde-haired, blue-eyed moisture farmers in their fucking desert. And they're not afraid to saddle up in their hundreds and ram your land speeder into a canyon to show you neither. They're meant to be mostly harmless scavengers. Here it's episode 4, the Jawa Menace. They even scavenged the sandcrawlers if you want to know. Bit of Star Wars lore from the Zerka Corporation, who you could take jobs for in the Knights of the Old Republic games. They came to Tatooine to mine out ore from the planet, but quickly found it to be of a horribly inferior quality, and had to pack up and piss off rather quickly after marauding bands of sand people started shitting all over them, and they left all of their sandcrawlers behind, which the Jawas promptly stole and started living in. Lava Beast Jawenko. Give me back my motherfucking astromech, you big, nasty bastard. Where in the name of God did the Jawas dig you up from? You just gotta be careful here that he doesn't blow you off the platform because you'll die instantly if you touch the ground. I'm not entirely sure why this thing is called a lava beast when there's a suspicious absence of lava around. I'm guessing maybe the Jawas have it around as a pet, like a ship's cat or something. Hell yeah, C-3PO, I got your boy! Now let's blow this motherfucker up and jit. I got paper to make you hurt!
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You are our only hope. Master Luke, R2-D2 is babbling about his mission. He says that he is the property of an Obi-Wan Kenobi, a resident of these parts, and he has a very important message for him.
Yeah, I know that dude Obi. It's your boy rolling with that full force C-3PO.
I'm not sure, sir, but I'd wager he'll pay good money for his return.
Alright, let's set up the meet then. Get that crazy little sucker in the trunk and let's roll. Here we go again. Luke Skywalker gonna find Ben Kenobi. Motherfucker gonna own me. About 2 G's plus a little on the side. Got my mind on my money on my mind. Just another day on Tatooine. Tried clean living, but living ain't clean. Gotta go make that people with my lightsaber. Motherfucker. Land of the Sand People. Otherwise known as the Tusken Raiders. Jawas all over the bloody shop here too. Can't shake 'em. Chlamydia of the desert, Jawas. What's actually surprising is that through the 80s and the entry swerve into the 90s, there were 9 Star Wars games released that Lucasfilm had absolutely nothing to do with. Super Star Wars was the 12th Star Wars game to come out, but only the 3rd that Lucasfilm had wanted any involvement with, the other 2 being Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back on NES. Both showed up the year before this one, 1991. Before that, it was Parker Brothers, an Atari's in-house team developing everything that came out in arcades and on consoles. Even Mastertronic managed to squeeze one out for home computers called Droids, based on that cartoon series that got shit-canned after 1 season. But for practically a whole decade, Lucasfilm just ignored the shit out of their most valuable asset. They half-heartedly poked around at making a Star Wars point-and-click adventure that wound up becoming Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, but that's the market they locked themselves into. I mean, they had 2 Indiana Jones games and 2 Monkey Island titles out before Star Wars on the NES, which was the first game they ever developed directly for consoles. I mean, their first 2 games ever were on Atari, but they were PC ports. It just blows my mind. Ball Blazer. That was the first game they ever made. Ball Blazer for the Atari 8-bit. It's 1984. You got a merchandising powerhouse out, an absolute unprecedented cultural phenomenon spanning 3 entire movies worth of material, and the game you choose to make is Ball Blazer. Unbelievable. I mean, I've got nothing against Ball Blazer. It was a great fucking game for its time, but it's like being rich enough to fly first class but then hiding in the bottom of the plane with everybody's bloody luggage, you know? I will play some of the earlier Star Wars games for you at some point. Climb up onto the cliff, and well, hey, here's Obi-Wan being a scary son of a bitch. What the fuck is he doing up here? Tell me, young Luke, what brings you out this far? Ben Kenobi, boy, am I glad to see you. This droid has an important message for you. Well, little fellow, let us see what you have. I had to carry him up here on my fucking back, Kenobi. Pay me. General Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in this struggle against the Empire. I have placed information vital to the survival of the rebellion into the memory system of this R2 unit. You must see this droid safely delivered to him on Yavin. This is our most desperate hour. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You are our only hope. Luke! You must help me rescue the princess. Here is your lightsaber. It is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Fuck yeah, Ben. But before we go, I'm just gonna kill the shit out of a few more Sand People. You wait in the car. My daddy done told you motherfuckers once, didn't he? My daddy done told you! Now I'm gonna tell you again, you dickless honking dust bastards. Stay the fuck away from my moisture farm. Luke can't help it. He was raised prejudiced by Uncle Owen. So this stage is basically like a Bantha boss rush, and they're so pointlessly easy to defeat that you can practically kill them before they even get on the screen. The developers probably intended for you to use this level to get to grips with your new lightsaber, but oh yeah, when you take a Bantha out, it starts spasming and screaming before it detonates like fucking Alderaan all over the damn place. Look at it, Jesus Christ. Even the actual droids and the cannon turrets in the Sandcrawler didn't explode like that. Fun fact, the Banthas from the original release of A New Hope were played by a trained elephant called Margie, who took exception to being covered in fur and giant horns on location in Death Valley. Kept trying to rip them off and get all kinds of elephant naked. The special effects team actually also shot some footage of Margie while they still had her so that they could use it as a motion reference for the AT-ATs in the attack on Echo Base on Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back. God bless you, Margie. Best bantha ever. Head just down here and you finish up this short level with another nightmarish addition to the Tatooine bestiary. The Mutant Womp Rat.
I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home. They're not much bigger than 2 meters.
Aren't they, you son of a bitch? This thing takes a goddamn beating and a half, I'm telling you now. This thing soaks up plasma like Count fucking Dracula. We better burn this fucking animal when we kill it. The smell of dead womp rats is said to attract krayt dragons. And this is gonna be a whole lot of dead womp rat. There's never any fucking krayt dragons in Star Wars. Everybody and everything is supposed to be shit scared of him, but you got more chance of walking in on Elvis Presley sucking off the Loch Ness Monster than ever meets him one. In the movie, Obi-Wan is supposed to be making the call of a krayt dragon to scare the Tusken Raiders away from Luke. I mean, at least he was in the original cut. George Lucas even changed that. Even changed the noise that Obi-Wan made in that one scene. Just cannot leave anything alone. I bet every time George Lucas gets a rash or a pimple, his wife has to duct tape oven mitts on his fucking hands because the motherfucker just can't stop picking at it! I mean, alright, the original noise wasn't stunning, but it sounded at least somewhat animal-like maybe a possessed elephant or some shit. You gotta hear the new noise on the Blu-ray, man. It is literally the sound of a man going, woo! Like, the most effeminate fucking wail. And of course, the Sand People still shit their pants and run like in the original. Let's get out of here before he gays us all! We're playing Mad Max with these damn Jawas again. Exactly the same as the first round, except this time we gotta kill 20 of them instead of 10. Then I guess your bloodlust meter's all good and filled up, and you finally feel that you can enter Mos Eisley without biting the dick off the first Wookiee you see. This really didn't need to happen twice, this stage. Even back in the day when they were parading Mode 7 around like they managed to reanimate Jesus Christ, we didn't need another land speeder stage. But where the fuck are R2 and Obi-Wan? In the trunk?
Shouldn't I ride in the front, Luke?
Fuck no, Grandpa, that's C3 stoop. Get your old ass in the trunk.
But it's dirty in there.
Just a crazy farm kid and some shit-talking robot all plated up with gold like he was built to wipe Donald Trump's ass for him, off on another crazy adventure. This is the best of the expanded universe material by a long way. God damn it, I'm nearly dead. When you use up all your lives in Super Star Wars, the game over screen is just Darth Vader's mask staring you out. Which I guess is strange because you're not even on Vader's radar at this point in the story. It'd be much more relevant to just have a Jawa lifting his little dress up and teabagging you.
Jawa balls! Rabbit.
How many more? Come here, you nasty little dirt dwarf. Fuck you! Wash your dicks, boys. We're rolling on Mos Eisley. If I can fucking find it. No, it was right in front of me. Put your seatbelt on, C-3ps. I'm putting the jets on. This is where Obi-Wan gets a toolbox in the face and R2 lands on his balls. Luke, we must find a doctor. Mos motherfucking Eisley. Welcome to hell. In this version of A New Hope, Obi-Wan's attempt at confusing the stormtroopers with his Jedi mind trick has failed spectacularly.
You're going to call in heavy reinforcements and murder anything that moves.
I'm gonna call in heavy reinforcements and murder anything that moves.
No, wait.
I love how stormtroopers just fall out the damn sky in this game. Truly, nothing gives a fuck in Super Star Wars. They just jump out of their Star Destroyers like they're trying to escape an acid trip. Woohoo! Luke's in a fucking circus. We didn't come to Mos Eisley to mess about, son. I'm riding a boulder backwards up the spine of a dewback, and then I'm backflipping onto the roof. Hold my drink. Didn't come here to visit the fucking museums. I'm on holiday. Show me the dewback. Here we go again, look. You ain't shit. Get off that roof. No free seats, tickets only. The Skywalker Family Circus is in town. You want to see the dewbacks? Put that shit in my hand. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. What are you talking about, Kenobi? This place is a motherfucking cemetery. This is an Empire discount holiday camp for employees. We're interrupting their summer break here. You want a bit of Star Wars lore on Mos Eisley? Its closest settlement to the much safer ex-mining outpost of Anchorhead, which is where Luke and his buddies used to hang out in the good old days, built up around the wreckage of the colony ship the Dowager Queen from Bestine 4, by the survivors of the crash, some of whom, god damn it, Jawas everywhere you fucking turn, some of whom splintered off to found what would later become Tatooine's capital city, also named after their home planet, Bestine. In fact, the Sand People, who we were so enthusiastically hunting to extinction in the last level, who of course go by the alternate name of the Tusken Raiders, gained that mantle from their attacks on Fort Tusken, which itself was named after an island on Bestine 4, so great deal of Tatooine's existing culture carries the mark and tradition of that planet. You can see the wreck of the Dowager Queen in the original cut of episode 4, where it's been turned into a hotel. Spend a night in the Dowager Queen. Absolute filth. I swear to God, where is this alliance between the Empire and the Jawas come from? Didn't they fucking kill him on sight in the movie? Wouldn't you? Or at least kick it really, really hard? The national sport of Tatooine. Jawa punting. You set up a trade deal in the middle of the desert, wait until they turn up, and then 2 teams of 12 jump out from behind the rocks, and whoever can kick the most Jawas over their sandcrawler before they all climb in and escape wins. It's Chewie! What do you want, you walking carpet? Now for the first time in the game you can choose to switch characters. Look, they can't draw Mark Hamill. Can't be done. You're just like fucking Brad Dourif there. So, we're playing as Chewie now, all 8 feet, 200 years of him, and this is the game's adaptation of the meeting in Chalmun's Cantina where Luke, Obi-Wan, and the gang hire Han Solo and his Wookiee to shuttle them off to Alderaan. Gotta play as Chewie here. He's the slowest of all the playable characters, but he's got the most health. You brought a Wookiee to a bar fight. Goddamn right we did. Unfortunately, Chewie can only shoot. He doesn't have any ridiculously brutal Wookiee fatalities where he gorilla presses some alien fuck above his head and shatters their spines over his hairy knees, or punches him in the throat and rips off their nipples, or grabs him by the ankles and slowly just tears him in half like a wet newspaper before thrusting his fist inside him and wearing him like a screaming fucking boxing glove that he uses to batter other opponents to death with. No, that'd be disgusting. Why would you even think such terrible things? I love how there's all these patrons just casually laughing and chatting in the back and the foreground while Chewbacca just straight up issues an open challenge to anybody who thinks they've got the fucking bottle. Who shot first, Greedo or Han? Who gives a fuck? Have you seen what Chewie's doing? Motherfucker's been drinking since noon. Hello, please. The Wookiee's back and he's murdering all my customers again. Yep, always the same. Turns up at 9 in the morning, sits in the corner drinking for 7 hours, pisses all over the seat and then starts calling everybody racist shit in his horrible cow pigeon language. Oh god, he's made it to the bar. Nobody fucking serve him! Nobody— Hold on 2 seconds. Hey! You! You furry fuck! Put that table down right now! You— Hello? Did you hear what you just told me to do to my mother? Hello? Son of a bitch. He's breakdancing now. He's doing that shit where he drags his ass all over the carpet. Hello? Well, we killed everybody in the bar now. Good job, Chewie. Now Luke's got nobody left alive to sell his land speeder to apart from the Imperial troops outside. And I guess Darth Vader if he's in a good mood. Hey man, you want to buy my car? Only 2,000 credits. What? No family discount? What? Nothing. There goes the bouncer. He's actually a Mantellian Savrip, a species you can see as one of the pieces in the game of Dejarik that C-3PO and Chewie play on the Millennium Falcon in the movie. Facts! Trivia. I'm Han Solo, captain of the Millennium Falcon. You guys got yourself a ship. We'll leave as soon as you're ready. Let's meet at Docking Bay 94. Chewie sitting there like he's just got through banging the arse off some broad in the toilets. We're going to switch over to Han now, who, I admit, looks a little bit derpy, but nothing on the level of Luke. Why can nobody draw Mark Hamill? Well, what is it about his face? It's like in those Asian ghost movies where you take a picture of somebody who's marked for death and it comes out with their faces all fucked up and twisted around. I love how nonchalantly the shop assistants always hand those photos over like they see that crap every day. Children's birthday party, pet snaps, group of school friends that are going to be found a week from now dead in an airing cupboard covered in their own terror shit. Man, today is a slow fucking day. Don't nobody take pictures at the zoo no more. Look at Han's portrait in the top left. Looks like a hairless cat in a shitty wig. Don't stroke me, pay me. So, this is by far the hardest stage in the entire game. The first half of it is the first Mos Eisley level on vodka and dick pills, but once we get to the second act, you'll see what this bloody nightmare is really capable of. You can see at the top there, when you switch character, you do at least get to keep all the gun power upgrades you've collected so far. I mean, honestly, there's really no solid reason to ever actually switch out from Luke in this game. It's cool to have the option and everything, but by the time you grabbed a couple of power-ups in whatever level you're playing, the difference between them in stats and abilities isn't really worth fretting about. I think like the biggest deal breaker of it is that both Han and Chewie start from scratch with the Flame Blaster upgrade. Holy shit, it's an Imperial maintenance droid and it's just noticed a smuggler-shaped piece of garbage on the roof that it wants to fuck to death. You gotta blow its damn arms off first. Then it starts trying to drill you a couple of new shit pipes, but all you gotta do here is crouch and it'll always miss you. Maintain my balls! You rust-covered bucket of cocks. Alright, this is about the special time in a boy's life where shit starts getting ridiculous. You see those little metal orbs glowing red? They're bombs, and they're absolutely fucking everywhere. You stay still for too long around them, they'll go off and just chip away at your health bar, and what really makes that insufferable here is that there is practically no health whatsoever between the maintenance droid and the next boss unless you're incredibly lucky. And I mean, they're really just the pubes on the dick sandwich that this level wants to force feed you, because you've also got electrified floors, electrified barriers, plasma gun batteries, those bloody claws from the arcade machine swiping at you like some bastard kid wants you for a prize, and believe you me, none of that shit tickles, so you find yourself caught between trying to pace your run so that you don't just blindly charge into any of these obstacles, or trying to get the fuck out of the way of the hundreds upon hundreds of tiny bombs that are rigged up all over the damn place. I mean, god damn it, Han! You could have picked a better docking bay to meet up at. You had at least 93 others to choose from. You had to drag us to the one with the robot death factory underneath it. He's just desperately rolling and blasting his way through this hellhole like, what the fuck? None of this shit was here when I parked. You notice as well that in the cutscene at the start of the stage, Han never asked for any money. He's like everybody else in the Super Star Wars universe. Just happy to be out murdering shit, I guess. Wow, we made it through to the end and we're not literally about to keel over from our injuries. Son of a bitch. That's great news because this is probably the toughest boss in the whole game. The Hover Combat Carrier is a nasty hunk of shit that'll put you in the dirt good and quick if you don't keep moving. You gotta blow off its thrusters and its ion cannons before you can actually do any goddamn damage to it. The crappy hit detection isn't exactly itching to help you out here either. You just gotta try and stay underneath the damn thing as best you can. That's it, come on. One more. Come on. Come on. Jesus Christ, blow up already. What do you want from me? That's a motherfucker. Alright, that's the hard part done. Can't do shit now, can you, son? Kablow! Soloed it. I just handed it its ass! Little Star Wars pun for you there. I know I don't make enough jokes on this channel. Aboard the Millennium Falcon, our heroes blast into space in search of the princess. Look at the stormtroopers. Let them go, boys. There's been enough killing today. As the Millennium Falcon approaches the dreaded Death Star, its powerful tractor beam pulls it into the battle station's hangar bay. Oh yeah? Don't get your facts twisted. We never went looking for Alderaan. We just saw this doomsday weapon floating around, decided to pop in, use the bathroom and break some shit on the way out. I'm gonna switch back to creepy face Luke here. Like I said, pretty much the only reason you want to change character is to fuck with the story canon even more than it already has been. And even then, you can't do anything truly cool with it, like make Chewie the one who blows up the Death Star. So, compared to the black trials of the flesh that we've just endured on Mos Eisley, these Death Star levels are an almost laughable cakewalk. This is essentially just one long sprint through the hangar while you try and hop over the infinite squadrons of TIE fighters that come screaming towards you. The Empire ain't taking any more goddamn chances with you after what you did on Tatooine. Lord Vader, that blonde kid and his friends from Mos Eisley are here. You're shitting me. No, they just flew right the fuck into the main hangar. It's not even clear what they actually want, Lord Vader. They're just backflipping all over the fucking place, killing anything that moves. The Hutts have fled Tatooine, sir. Grand Moff Tarkin has locked himself in the Emperor's bathroom, and he won't come out. Look how pitifully little damage a speeding TIE fighter smashing into you actually does. God, twist in Super Star Wars isn't that Darth Vader is Luke's father. It's that Luke has no father because he was put together in a murder bot factory. Once he gets out of here, he's off to hunt down Sarah fucking Connor. This game is nuts. It's basically like, if I had to describe the basic plot to Super Star Wars to somebody, I guess I'd say, imagine A New Hope, but in every instance where the heroes were forced to use stealth, negotiation and cunning in their journey, replace that with what would happen if they all suffered from bouts of uncontrollable blood rage. They're actively committing suicide now. You'll never take my soul, Skywalker! The Skywalker Family Circus, coming to an orbital battle station near you. Like, it doesn't even make any sort of altitudinal sense. They can't both hit me and not immediately explode when they crash into the platform that I'm on. Goddamned Imperial bullshit. I think one of the things that I've always found to be most awesome about these games are some of the new droids and creatures they managed to come up with. I mean, you got the Spider Tour droids crawling around back there. And they kind of resemble the Destroyer droids that first showed up in the Phantom Menace like 6 or 7 years later. If you're wondering what I, as a lifelong Star Wars fan, think of the Phantom Menace, just don't start that conversation, please. Don't pull at that thread with me tonight. The book is better. Let's go with that. Get yourself the Terry Brooks novelization. Just read the damn book. What the fuck am I doing? Blew that up already. Jesus Christ, this goes on forever. It wants you to fall down a pit. That's what it's after. It wants you to accidentally fall down a hole and have to start this shit from the beginning. Sorry, not gonna happen, son. Not on the cards. Too many midichlorians. I'm covered in them. Have to milk myself every morning. I've got so damn many. Alright, all the TIE fighters have run away now, so that leaves us one-on-one with the Imperial Defense Droid. He's nothing too savage to deal with. You just gotta stay out of his way until he pops his arse open to crap a bomb out onto you. Then you give him the business with your blaster. Try not to let it step on your toes there. You can take a TIE fighter to the face, but if this fucker jumps on your feet, you'll know about it. It's an awesome looking boss. Didn't actually show up again until Star Wars Uprising, which is one of those dogshit microtransaction infested mobile titles that got squatted out, along with that other one. What was it? Commander? Freemium fucking garbage. 2 more stages to go before we get to blow this dump to smithereens in an X-Wing. I'll go with Luke again. We're rescuing Leia at the end of this stage, so we'll keep it canon. You've always got Obi-Wan in your damn ear telling you to use the Force. Can't yet, stupid idiot. I haven't even started Jedi training. You just handed me a lightsaber in the damn mountains and ran away while the fucking sand people tried to smash my head in. Pro tip, don't get caught under those crushers.
Now it's instant death for you, young Skywalker.
It's deceptively easy to get smushed in them as well. You gotta slide once, then jump out the other side. You can't run or slide out of the pit once you're in, or you just bounce off the slope and eat a ton of shit. There was actually supposed to be a level based off the garbage compactor scene in the movie that came right after this one, but it got chopped, I guess. Would have loved to have seen the take on that. Instead of waiting for R2 to shut the compactor down and save him, Chewbacca beats the Dianoga trash monster to death with his own dick, devours its soul, activates Wookiee God mode, and just punches the Death Star to shit from the inside out while TIE fighters bounce off of his face. You see, they've sent out the ITO interrogation droids now. Leia got some quality private time with one of those in the movie when Vader's trying to get the location of the rebel base out of her. I ain't gonna tell you nothing. I don't know nothing. I just came here to break shit. These mouse droids have grown some balls since the film as well. You remember when Chewbacca roared at one and it pissed its circuits and ran away? They're done being afraid of you and your Wookiee now, son. They're gonna try and shove your punk ass in the crusher. Wee, whoa, 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 you uppity little bastards. You might be wondering what use anybody ever got out of these cowardly robo-vermin, and you'd have a fine question there. Once you run them up against all the other, much better robots that work for the Empire, but their primary purpose was apparently to carry messages around giant Imperial installations and ships, and also to act as guides for stormtroopers, so they didn't get lost while they were running around the Death Star. And I mean, to be fair, the Death Star seems like an incredibly easy place to get lost, and moreover, a place where if you wander down the wrong passage, you soon find yourself trapped between identical corridors with ceilings that just want to smash your damn head into chalk for no reason. Like, what are these crushers and why the fuck are they here? And roaming gangs of mouse droids with vicious attitude problems. In fact, I'd be fucking wary of letting them lead you around the place. They'll probably just lure you down here so 2 dozen of them can beat the fuck out of you, strip you down to your underwear, lock you in a cage. Lord Vader, you've been missing for 3 weeks! Where have you been? I would rather not say. Watch out, gang! It's Detention Guard Boss on his flying admissions desk. Nobody leaves! But I have an authorized prison transfer form signed from the Emperor himself. Nobody leaves! This is my fucking prison, you babbling space knave! Mine, mine, mine! He's the deadliest administrative assistant in the entire galaxy. He's not afraid to bomb you from his bureaucratic death throne. He spent his entire 5-year budget on that thing. He's been feeding the inmates each other to compensate, and blaming it on Force ghosts. It was Qui-Gon Jinn again. He walked straight through that fucking wall. I saw him. Like, you know, if you just pay for some wheels on this thing, you know, I could chase him. I could chase him down. It's Leia time. What? Your princess is in another Death Star? God damn it. Princess Leia, I'm here to rescue you. I've got your R2 unit with the secret plans of the Death Star. Now we must deactivate the tractor beam and escape. Leia doesn't say shit. Who in the fuck are you? It's always amused me that Leia was taking a nap in the detention cell when Luke ran in to rescue her in the movie. She spent the day being tortured, watching her friends getting force choked and shot down, and her homeworld getting blown to shit by the Death Star. It's not like he runs in and finds her crying, or upset, or in a ball rocking back and forth on the floor. She's just like, I was up at 5 this morning. Just wake me up when they glue Alderaan back together. So now, here we are, climbing up the Death Star tractor beam shaft, which is, once again, somebody else's goddamn job. Where is Obi-Wan Kenobi? What's he doing? Why is he even here? He's done nothing since I found him just standing on that cliff. What's wrong with him? Is he depressed? Did I get to him moments before he was about to hurl himself into a ravine? It's all too much, Luke. I'm so miserable. The sand people hide outside my house at night and call me names. Do you know what that means in Tuscan, Luke? It's an inference that my genitals are situated on my forehead. So no help from Kenobi, not in Super Star Wars. In Super Star Wars, you gotta do everything yourself. This stage operates on the same kind of frustration mechanic as the Sandcrawler level at the start of the game, where the action itself isn't particularly tricky, but it is just waiting for you to make an overconfident jump and plummet all the way back down to the bottom. It kind of bums me out they didn't think to let you play as Leia just for this level. I mean, why not? Would that be too fucking crazy? We could have vanilla Luke defeating a Sarlacc in single combat, but God forbid we let Leia shoot some damn stormtroopers. You can play as her in the NES Star Wars game, which is awesome. You can have her take down the whole damn Death Star by herself. And she has the jumping ability of a cocaine-abusing kangaroo. It's a sight to behold. The woman is half flea. That was some goddamn tragic shit about Carrie Fisher though, right? I never get down about celebrities dying. You know, I mean, I don't fucking celebrate it or anything, but you know, it doesn't generally affect me on any serious level, but I just felt like shit when I heard she'd passed away. Disney actually issued a statement a few days ago in response to some media rumors, and if you don't want a little surprise in Rogue One ruined for you here, mute me for the next 20 seconds or so. But they said they weren't going to digitally recreate Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia. And I guess they meant going forward, because they already kind of fucking did. And like, where's the line they're going to draw with that? Because they didn't have any problem digging up Peter Cushing's bloody grave to make him dance around as Grand Moff Tarkin again, did they? I find it bizarre, kind of fucking morbid, to be completely honest. Anyway, that's the Death Star good and shagged now. I have been waiting for you, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We meet again at last. When I left you, I was the learner, but now I am the master. Only a master of evil. You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Spoiler, he doesn't. Our heroes escape in the Millennium Falcon and race across the galaxy to the rebel base on Yavin. An analysis of the secret plans you have successfully protected reveals a weakness of the battle station's defense. A precise hit with your proton torpedoes into a small exhaust port at the end of the trench will start a chain reaction and destroy the Death Star. Good luck, and may the Force be with you. Here we go! Endgame time! This is, obviously, a staging of what must be like the most prolific event in any franchise, the Battle of Yavin. Like, is seriously in every fucking Star Wars game ever. Every time you get a Rogue Squadron or a Rebel Assault type title coming out, Star Wars Arcade, Star Wars Battle Pod, you know you're going into that Death Star trench and putting a pair of torpedoes in its dick hole. It is what it is. Before we go in the trench, however, we've got another Mode 7 stage to get through. Skywalker's Blood God demands a sacrifice of 20 TIE fighters and 20 deflector towers. So, let's wreck this floating doomsday bollock. I'll be honest, I usually die at least once here, or just barely scrape through by the skin of my teeth. If you smash into a tower, doesn't matter how much life you got left, you'll die instantly, but you've also got to try your damnedest to stay away from the TIE fighters who are trying to turn your X-Wing into an X-Wing. Lord, I'm a card, aren't I? So I've never really ever developed much of a strategy for this section besides trying to kill everything as quickly as my thumbs will allow me to. Again, it's one of those Mode 7 stages that was really designed more to dazzle you visually than it was to be easy or pleasant to control. You're just really fudging your way through terrible drawing distance for the most part, like Luke needs some damn glasses. You know one thing that always bothered me about this battle? Why did they have to fly all the way through the trench to get to the exhaust port? Couldn't somebody have just flown down directly at it, firing proton torpedoes? Yes! What did I tell you? By the skin of my balls. No celebrating yet though, because now you're in the trench itself, and you've upset a lot of people. I can't explain to you in great enough detail how dead you can get in no time at all here. This is one of those levels where if you had a mouse, you'd shit all over it, but you're aiming around with a stiff D-pad, and what's fucking worse, there's no automatic fire. You want to shoot a laser, press the goddamn button. You've really got to be blasting these TIE and tower shots out your face. Every single one of them. You have so little room for error here. Don't break focus. Don't look down to your distance meter to see how much more of this shit you got left. Don't look down at your shields. Just look out the cockpit and keep shooting. Never take your eyes off the shots. I mean, you can see here, I'm already half dead, and I'm really fucking trying here. I'm on a no-death run. I'll be fucking livid if I get killed on this bloody trench. You know, worst part about this is that if you do die, it chucks you back outside the Death Star, and you gotta do that goddamn Mode 7 stage all over again from the beginning. Come on, you son of a bitch. Where's that exhaust port? Show me the dick hole. Oh shit, it's Vader. Get out of my face, you bronchial man witch. Alright, we made it. Alright, nothing left to do now except blow this thing, go home. Luke's mastery of the Force is so great here, you don't really have to be aiming anywhere near the exhaust port to hit it. There you go. Like, I was off by about 10 feet to the left there. And that is goodbye, good night, lots of luck, sweet dreams, safe travels, au revoir, kiss my ass, suck my dick, You stupid, angry moon. Now build it again! Great shot, kid, that was 1 in a million. Woo! Jesus Christ. I'm exhausted. A lot of goddamn help you were, Han. You were supposed to swing in and save me from getting shot at by Vader just in the nick of time. Where the fuck were you? He was blasting the screaming fuck out of me. R2's dead. He ain't coming back. You stupid, charming pirate. Here's where everybody gets a dumb medal for doing the Alliance's job for him. Like, hey, you're alright. Maybe we'll let you join our sweet rebel alliance. You fucking better, if you don't want the Empire to slap the piss out your ears when they come back. Goddamned imbecile circus. Thank God TIE Fighter came out the year after this, I tell you. Come on, move. I need a piss. Look, Chewie still hasn't got a damn medal. Congratulations! You have destroyed the Death Star and won another victory against the evil Galactic Empire. The Imperial forces have retreated and you have brought freedom to this part of the galaxy. But be careful, for the Empire might strike back. And remember, the Force will be with you, always. What are you talking about? The Empire will never strike back. That's pure speculation. Scaremonger. Hey look! Mark Hamill doesn't actually look too grotesque there. Great drawing, kid! That was 1 in a million! And there we go. Roll credits. Super Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. As I scroll down, you'll see Darth Vader's mask slowly fade into the shot. I like to think of it as his glazed reflection sitting in the cockpit of his damaged TIE Advanced X1 with the engine blown out. Pops open the glove box, spends 20 minutes slowly working his way through a tube of fruit pastels. I haven't had these in bloody ages. Round of applause for art production supervisor Harrison Fong, please everybody. Harrison Ford's thinly veiled attempt to sneak into the development team to ensure that nobody fucked his likeness in the game up as much as they did Mark Hamill's. There he is again in the art and animation unit. They all knew it was him, but they felt safer with him around in the parking lot at night. Where's the credit for whoever wrote the blurb on the back of the box? I'm gonna show you this box. Hold on a goddamn second, let me just pull it up in Google while this is running its course. Alright. Super Star Wars box. Here you go. I've got a pube to pick with this box. Here we go. Risk your life as a Jedi Knight. Luke's not a Jedi yet, dipshit. He's got to train with Yoda first. Stop getting Star Wars wrong. Son of a bitch. It's fine apart from that. Oh, no. Hang on. There's this as well. So grab your blaster, strap on your lightsaber, and take on the fight for galactic freedom. Strap on my lightsaber. Strap on my lightsaber. Makes it sound like I'm gonna tie it around my waist and fuck somebody to death with it. That... Christ alive. Try again in Jedi mode. I'll tell you what, you can strap on your lightsaber and go force fuck yourself there, buddy.
Prehistoric bitch, how we do things downtown.